Hello, my name is Erin Cox, and I'm the publisher of Publishing Perspectives, and I'm here with Patrick Flores, who is the curator for the Philippine Guest of Honor Pavilion at this fall's Frankfurt Book Fair. Welcome, Patrick.
Hi, Erin. It's good to see you virtually.
So good to see you too. And thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us and talk a little bit about your curation and what we can expect this fall. So the theme for the Philippine Pavilion is "The Imagination Peoples the Air," which is inspired by, and please correct me if I mispronounce anything here,
Mm,
Jose Rizal's Noli Me Tangere. Is that
yeah,
correct?
that's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Tangere sometimes. Yeah.
Tangere.
Mm.
So how does this theme reflect the current literary and creative landscape of the Philippines? And what message do you hope it sends to the international publishing community?
Well, the inspiration is from Rizal. So
Hmm.
in itself, that's the message and the inspiration that the literary scene in the Philippines has a strong lineage from Jose Rizal, who is a revered writer as well as a patriot, a
Hmm.
conceiver of nation, as well as a conceiver of the imagination. So I think the title alone is both a message and an inspiration, as well as a historical context that the literary scene descends from that really inspiring lineage from Jose Rizal, who was not only a patriot but also an artist, and that in the Philippines everyone reads Rizal
Hmm.
because Rizal is a required reading.
Ah, there you go.
In the school system. So it's good that
Hmm.
the nation reads Rizal together, and
Hmm.
that this is the inspiration of the pavilion and the guest of honor situation in Frankfurt. So I think that's the
Yeah.
message to the world, and that's also the context of the literary world. Mhm.
Wonderful. I like how you sort of describe Jose, that he was both a patriot and an artist. And
Right.
I think that's so much of what the Guest of Honor program is meant to be, right? Is to show, the patriotism of the people, but also the country's identity through the art and culture, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's wonderful. Yes.
that's correct. It's like some kind of intertwining
Hmm.
of a nationalist cultural sentiment with the individual talent, right? Because sometimes the
Hmm.
individual talent is separate or isolated from a larger context. But in the case of Rizal, it is,
Hmm.
I mean, the both are intertwined. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. So you've spoken, this sort of leads into my next question, which is you've spoken about moving away from a focus on literary qualities policed by an establishment and towards a writing and reading practice that is about sharing and inspiring. So how will this approach be reflected in the pavilion's programming, the design, and overall concept, which you're responsible for?
Yeah, as a curator of the Philippine Pavilion, we wanted a larger environment, something that
Mhm.
is not exclusively tied to literature. Although literature is the focus of the guest of honor situation,
Sure.
but the literature wouldn't emerge right without a dynamic and a robust cultural context. So. Sometimes the literary scene is gate kept by by
Hmm.
certain forces. So we're trying to release the scene into a larger, more dynamic world of culture and contemporary art. So the activities around the pavilion will reflect this dynamism of the culture. So
Hmm.
instead of just the literary scene, we see the context that produces that scene. Yeah, in relation
Hmm.
to other scenes in the Philippines, like the visual art scene or maybe the
Hmm.
dance and music scene and so on and so forth. So in a way, we are like restoring an ecology uh,
Yes.
uh, of the arts, right? That would be sometimes, be individuated by scenes in the art world. So I think this is just
Yeah.
a restoration of the ecology. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that's so important because, of course, the arts, different areas of the arts feed off each other. And so it's so important to bring them all together in one place. And I think that's something that at the book fair every year we try and do in the sort of larger program as well. And it's great that you're able to do that in the Guest of Honor Pavilion this year. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it is a golden opportunity, right?
Absolutely.
To bring disciplines and artists together in this platform in Frankfurt. Yeah.
Definitely. Now, this is not your first pavilion that you have curated too. You've created some other pavilions in the past. Does that help form the idea for this pavilion that you're for at the Frankfurt Book Fair this fall?
Yeah, I think so. I've done the Philippine Pavilion in Venice and also the Taiwan Pavilion as well in Venice and the Biennale in Singapore.
Hmm.
So across these projects, there's always a desire to touch base with the larger public, right? That
Mm.
although the activities I mentioned or the projects I mentioned were largely around the visual arts, we tried to like bring the artists together with the public. So I think this desire to reach out to a larger public is central in my vision for the Philippine Pavilion in Frankfurt. And also the
Hmm.
idea of different disciplines coming together. I think this
Hmm.
I was prepared to do this because in contemporary art we try to move away from this, like, you know, the singularity of a discipline or a genre or a medium. We try to bring together different forms in one platform, and I think the book fair can follow this, you know, this model or this framework of interdisciplinary interaction. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's a great way, as you said, to connect with the public in so many
Mhm.
different points, from the visual arts to the literature to other sort of cultural touch points. So you're able to connect with them in a lot of varied ways, which is exciting.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. How do you envision the relationship between reading and writing evolving in the Philippines? And what role do you see the international collaboration playing in this evolution?
Yeah, I think the reading and writing, as I mentioned earlier, should be
Hmm.
seen as like an
Hmm.
interlocking forms, right? And
Hmm.
then I think what the platform, an international platform like Frankfurt can contribute is to cultivate, you know, the conditions for this platform to flourish. And the platform is based on this interaction or
Hmm.
interdisciplinarity, that for instance writing is not separate from singing, for instance, or the imagination that goes into the writing of a book also goes into the development of a dance project or a film project, right? Or
Hmm.
a painting project, or even a curation of an ethnographic collection, let us say, in Heidelberg of Philippine materials. So
Hmm.
I'm so that's what I mean when when I say that reading and writing should come together. It's the uh, they fall under the larger context of the imagination, right? Um,
Hmm.
Read, and when you write you partake of the possibility of the imagination, and we are also investing in the people, because
Hmm.
the word people figures in the theme, right, or in the title, and this is important for us, that there are people like 100 million Filipinos, right,
Right.
who embody this imagination. I think that the world deserves to hear the voices of this a great amount number of people
Hmm.
in this part of the world. So so
Yeah.
people and imagination create this atmosphere. That's why
Hmm.
the ecological condition of the air is also important for me as a curator, to bring together culture and nature uh,
Hmm.
in the production of literature.
Culture and nature. I love that. That's so that, it's so evocative and what a great image. I can't wait to see the pavilion as it's coming together. It's so great.
Yeah, you're excited as well.
Yes,
Mm,
yes, I know.
mm.
We're just just a couple short months and we'll be there.
I know.
Um, you say that the pavilion aims to be a space for sharing and inspiration, emphasizing, as you said, generosity and hospitality. What specific experiences or events are you excited about that you think visitors can expect to embody these values?
I think first off is the scenography of
Mm,
the pavilion, that it is inviting, it is warm, it is also open, no? That
hmm
it is not too, in a way, didactic or be pedagogical, but welcoming.
hmm
That there is air, because
Right.
we tend to white cube the experience, right? So
Right.
we're not doing that here. We are bringing in the air and to infuse the hall, right, in
Mm.
Frankfurt. So
hmm
I think that's one, and that will
Okay.
signal the element of generosity, that you are welcome
hmm
here, that it's a warm feeling, and that you can pick up a book,
hmm
or browse, and also be with others who are doing the same thing. So
Yes.
this is also to unburden, right? To unburden the viewer, the visitor, from the expectations of like a book fair that is
hmm
serious or maybe individualist or something like that. So it's more collective, more
hmm
convivial, I think, and yeah, more generous in creating the conditions for interaction. So I think scenography is one, and then the second would be the interdisciplinary programming, right? That
hmm
will not only consist of talks or lectures, right? But also of performances. Yeah.
hmm
As I mentioned earlier, the cultural forms are intertwined and interlocking. So we will try to demonstrate that uh,
hmm
in 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 the programming, that there is like verse becomes song, or becomes joust, or becomes debate as well, or also becomes
hmm
theory. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds so fascinating. I can't wait to see it all in action. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Mhm.
What do you hope, last question, what do you hope people will take away from the pavilion when they leave and go back to their respective countries? What do you hope people will take away from this experience, having been in the pavilion and having experienced all of these great events and being together in this space? What do you hope people will take away?
Well, the Philippines is an enchanting country. And by enchanting, I mean this very interesting culture, very multi-layered culture, one that is quite exposed to different forms of interaction with other cultures in the world, but also one that is prone to natural disasters and political tragedies. And
hmm
all of these have shaped this enchanting, interesting culture. So I think that is a good takeaway, just
hmm
to interest the public in the Philippines as a culture, and also as a place for where writers write these things because of that
hmm
culture. Yeah.
Yeah, they're inspired by all of these things that are happening in your culture and writing great work.
Yeah, and
Wonderful.
also that culture, because of its density and also of
hmm
this of its layeredness, is really hard to reduce to some
Yes,
kind of let us say a signature or an exotic representation.
sure.
So it's something to be experienced, and something to be felt and lived, right? Yeah, so this is an invitation for the public to know more about the Philippines. Yeah,
Wonderful, wonderful. See all of the texture, all the layers, and all of the people.
correct,
I
correct.
love it. I
That
love
that,
it.
that and the air, of course, the
And the
Philippine.
air. Yes, yes, of course.
Yeah, yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah. Thank you.
thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Erin. And yeah, hope to see you there with
We'll see
us.
you. Yes, I'll see you in the pavilion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.